Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany also talks to us about reopening schools and President Donald Trump's fight for the unborn. Joining us now from the White House is Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, thank you very much for joining us right now. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Owen.
Yeah, let's get right to it. We know schools across the country are trying to figure out a plan to open up this fall. We also are hearing a lot about surging coronavirus cases. At the same time, though, the president today tweeted, and I want to pull it up here and read it. The president tweeted, COVID-19 China virus death rate plunges from peak in U.S., a tenfold decrease in mortality. We have the lowest mortality rate in the world. The fake news should be reporting these most important facts, but they don't. What is the president's message to school administrators, officials, parents who might be on the fence about going back to school this fall?
So the president wants to see schools reopen. He's made that very clear. He's in agreement with the American Academy of Pediatrics, who have said that they too would like to see children get back to school. He's looking at the holistic health of the child, which is also emotional well-being and intellectual well-being, and it means getting back to school. We want to do so safely. We want to use best practices, but it's imperative that we get back to school. But I just want to highlight one of the parts of those tweets that you mentioned, which is the mortality rate. We've seen a tenfold decrease. Sunday was the lowest Sunday that we've had in mortality since back in March, and we're encouraged to see that for 10 weeks the mortality rate has declined. So that is good news, though we always grieve anytime one life is lost.
And I can tell you right now, a parent myself of kids who are in high school and middle school, we're still sort of in the lurch because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. And also, when you tie this to the fact that when you stay closed down as a country, I was just reviewing some overdose statistics that we've seen an 18% increase in doses back in March, going up to 42% last month. So when you are closed down and people do stay home, you do see these kinds of things happen, these negative repercussions.
On the subject of children, it's such a sad story. This past weekend was so terribly violent. Kids all across the country losing their lives to gunfire. Can anything be done right now at this point in time to stop this senseless violence?
Yeah, and thank you very much for bringing that up, because it's very important. When you've looked across the country and over the weekend, dozens killed, 5 children, as you noted, in America's streets. This president's appalled by that. He's disturbed by it. And there is things that can be done. First, when you talk about defunding the police, I would note that you had Mayor de Blasio pulling $1.5 billion from the New York City Police Department. And then you've seen an increase over the weekends in the number of shootings, because people are aware that, law enforcement is in part winding down with this decrease in funding, some law enforcement pulling back, and with that you see an increase in crime, and we saw it in LA County as well. The president has said, hey, I have federal resources here if you need the assistance of the federal government, but it's incumbent upon states to request those resources, because that's the way the Constitution works in federalism.
Unemployment, I want to switch gears here for a second. Unemployment numbers in June were huge, great. Millions of people got their jobs back, but millions of Americans still out of work. What's the president's message to them?
Yeah, the president has said, I'm the jobs president. He was encouraged to see that, they anticipated 3 million jobs roughly. There were 4.8 million, largest jobs report in one month in history, followed by a record set the previous month, and the stock market increasing because people have faith in this president. He's the jobs president. He brought us the hottest economy in modern history once, and he'll do it again. More work to be done, but we have the right person at the helm to do that job.
We also know President Trump is adamantly pro-life. If he's reelected, what is his plan going forward to save the lives of unborn babies?
Yeah, so one thing that he's emphasized recently is it's become increasingly clear that we need even more conservative judges. He just surpassed 200 on the Supreme Court. He appointed 2, but we've seen decisions go the other way on DACA, for instance. It's one example, and Title IX as well. So the president has emphasized, look, we need religious freedom. We need pro-life judges. He's vowed to put forward a new list of conservative justices, and we believe that through the courts, pro-life issues can advance, and he's done a great job so far, and he has more to do in his second term.
We've got to keep that pro-life fight going. Thank you very much. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, thank you again very much for your time.
Thank you, Owen.